What's up, y'all? Welcome to the 1NELife podcast. I am Mike MIC Reed, and as always, I got my co-host Diana Gotti from the AV Wellbeing Coalition, doing it the Gotti way.
Yay! What's up? What's
up, y'all? And as we have Glenn Roher from Roher Commercial Real Estate Services with us today. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. How are you guys doing?
We doing amazing.
Amazing.
Fabulous. There you go. Fabulous.
Yes.
We are kicking off Black History Month with Mr. Roher, because you are a pillar in this community.
Mm-hmm.
So they say.
They say.
I believe it. I believe it.
And today's episode is brought to you by Lovin' Crockett's Homestyle Barbecue.
Oh my God.
This is so good, you guys. Like, wow. And I got on a white shirt today, and I'm trying to eat and do this show at the same time.
Oh, you guys can just smell it. It's delicious. I couldn't wait. I had to nibble in.
You did, and you said you was gonna wait till you get home.
I know, I sure did.
And fail.
Well, Glenn was hyping it up, saying, it's delicious.
Well, yeah, Glenn's been there before. This is my first time having it, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
Yes, it is good.
Yes, it's very good.
Well, where are they located?
So you can find them on Tuesday nights over on L8 and 50th Street West.
Yes.
So, and they are also going to be here at the Wellness Fair that is going to be at the Boulevard on February the 11th. So most definitely check them out, because let me tell you, this mac and cheese was where it needs to be.
Yes, the ribs are awesome.
Yes, they were just melting off the bone. So
yeah, you can also find them on IG at Lovin' Crockett's Homestyle. Is it Homestyle? Yeah, Homestyle. So Lovin' Crockett's Homestyle on IG, guys. Check them out there. An incredible, amazing, wonderful couple, Donna and Jamie. Sorry, Jamie. I'm bad with names. You guys know this. I say this all the time. But Jamie and Donna, they're an incredible couple. You guys hit them up.
yeah.
All right, so let's get on with this.
Oh.
Glenn,
Yes.
how you doing?
I'm doing well.
You know, it took me a minute to get Glenn on the show. I've had several conversations with Glenn, and Glenn is just so amazing. Mm-hmm. You've been around in the AV for a long time, and I wanted you here on this show, to kick off Black History Month, because you have a lot of history.
Yes, I've been here since 1976.
Okay.
Oh wow!
Yes.
I did. So I was 5 years old.
Yeah, the Air Force. I was stationed at Edwards Air Force Base, October of '76 through December of '79.
Okay.
So what got you into real estate?
Well, as a kid, born and raised in Philadelphia, I can say, born in West Philadelphia,
Okay.
but raised in Germantown, West Oak Lane area.
Now wait a minute, are you an Eagles fan?
I was just going to ask that.
Raiders.
Oh.
It's a long story. It's a long story behind the Eagles, so I won't talk about that now.
Wow, you know what? That's really rare that a Philadelphian is not an Eagles fan.
Well, I've been out here since '76.
Still,
That's true.
Still, the brotherly love. Come on.
I know, but no, I'm definitely a
Raiders fan.
fan. Yes,
Okay.
but no, going downtown Philadelphia, all the high rises. I've always wanted to own a high rise, so that's what made me start buying real estate. To eventually what they call 1031 exchange into a large high rise. I got 2 stories now. I just got to work on 5 more.
No, but you know what? And it's funny because I recall we was having a conversation on your balcony over here on the boulevard. I think it was a couple of weeks ago.
Yes.
And something you said struck me, and it stuck with me since then. Because a lot of people always say, "Hey, buy real estate, buy property." But you said, "No, I want to buy buildings."
Right.
That just sounds different than I want to buy a house. Yeah. When you say I own a building or I want to buy buildings, it just has a different ring to it. And when you said that, I was like, I want to buy a building, because I'm on my second home now. But I was like, I want to buy a building.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And you do. You have a lovely building. I mean, your building is incredible. I've been trying to get in there. I'm always teasing you about that. But you do have a 2-story building, but it's great. It's on the boulevard, on the corner prime location.
Yeah, I call it I call it Banker's Corner
Baker's
Yeah.
Corner.
because you have Wells Fargo on one corner and you
Yes.
have Chase on the next corner.
And then you have Roher Commercial on the other corner.
Right.
Yeah. And then Bank of America was down the way, right?
Yes, where Brooklyn Deli is right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Pretty Little Poppy as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So yeah, we got to kind of see the bolt that's still there.
yes.
That was pretty interesting.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, because her husband her husband has a apparel shop inside the vote area.
Yeah.
And about a month ago we was in there, and he gave us a tour of the vote, and everything is still intact, like the little drawers, everything.
Right.
And he uses that as his office, and I thought that was just so cool.
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh yeah, you got to go right over
it's
there.
neat.
This
Yeah.
is crazy.
You know, it's funny because I was having that conversation with my husband today. I said, life, it's kind of like Monopoly, right?
Mm-hmm.
You start off with your houses and eventually you want to have the hotels, but in real life, it's buildings, and it comes with wealth, right? Long-term wealth. At times we don't think
yes.
about that.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. It's really something that we really should be talking about and having those visions. It's not short-term goals and, like having finances now, but looking at long-term, at generational wealth.
Well, if anyone if anyone sits around me more than 10, 15 minutes, I'm going to start plugging real estate.
Yeah, as you should.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
But it's what a lot of knowledge too, though. Like I've learned so much since I've known you, and the countless conversations we had smoking cigar, because you're a big cigar guy like me.
Yes.
I think
Yes.
you have more than I do, but
No.
you're a big cigar guy like me, and we've had like I said countless
Conversation.
No
conversations, and there's so much knowledge in there.
Mm-hmm.
And like you're like a mentor. Like I really look up to you and admire just what you accomplished, out here in the AV.
Well, thank you again. I love to share information as much as I can.
And that's very rare. And I think that's what I appreciate about you, because you don't hold back information. Like you want to see everybody around you win.
Of course, because I had those people in my life.
Right.
That's how I got to where I'm at. Is they always shared with me, and my I always say each one teach one.
Exactly. No, you're paying it forward, and I
Yes.
think that's what I appreciate about you too. And it's quickly. You need help?
What is going on?
I don't know. What are you doing, Diana
It is
Gotti?
not staying today.
Oh.
Everything is pretty tight. Oh, it's tight. As tight as can be.
That's
My
okay.
mic's not happy with me today.
It's okay.
It's all right.
It's okay. It's Friday.
It's Friday, I say.
Friday.
Yeah.
That's right.
But so what? Since like again, you said you've been here for a while. What has changed as far as like real estate and land? I know a lot, because like the building that we're in right now is the second oldest building in the AV.
Yes.
And so what? I mean, as far as like the boulevard, like what are the major changes, and what do you see like in the next 5-10 years for out here in AV?
Okay. Well, let's see. The AV is continually growing. Our demographics are getting wider. In order for us to have a lot of the key restaurants and stores that we need to have higher demographics. And I'm speaking of as far as your the income. We're getting more and more buyers from the Valley in the LA area because houses are so expensive down there.
Yeah.
You can get more bang for your buck up here.
Yeah.
Now as they come up here, again, they're raising the demographics as far as the income here. Once the income get to a certain point, then we'll start getting a lot more of those attractive, the PF Chang's,
Yeah.
The Cheesecake Factory,
Right.
because I want the
Yeah.
Cheesecake Factory right here.
Yeah.
Right. We're not quite there yet.
Yeah.
But we are. The Valley is building like crazy. When I came out here in '76, I think I remember seeing population around 35,000.
Oh wow.
Yes. For Lancaster, Palmdale was always a little more.
A little more, right?
Now collectively, the Valley is about 500,000.
Yeah, I believe it.
Yes.
Yeah, because we moved to the to Palmdale area in 91, 92. And even then in Palmdale, they were still developing. A lot of those houses didn't exist. The Walmart didn't exist.
Right. And we had a lot of bang and bust.
Yeah.
Because again, we were totally dependent on aerospace for a long time.
Right.
And then when you get the big contract, everyone comes in. And then when the contract fails or when it cuts short, even back when Reagan, then people start scattering. Now what they do is they'll move up here from the valley, from LA, but they'll still keep their jobs down there.
Yeah.
So that's why we've always been a bedroom community. So what myself and a couple of the agents in the office, we're trying desperately to bring manufacturing, bring jobs up here.
Yeah.
So that way, instead of having jobs, you have what we call mortgage-paying jobs. That's what's important.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's a different perspective. Yeah.
Yes, and that way, not many people. They don't. That way, we can kind of reduce some of the traffic going to and from Los Angeles every day if we had those type of jobs up here.
Yeah. And it would allow families to stay together too.
Oh yes,
You know, because this is a commuter's valley.
yes,
Yeah. Parents are out early in the morning and they're getting back late at night.
And you know what? And I noticed something last night. So last night, Diana and I went to this event for Ashley Kahn. And she's an artist out here, painter artist. And she had an exhibition thing last night at the Palmdale Playhouse. I've never been to the Palmdale Playhouse. That's a nice venue over there.
yes, it is.
Really nice.
Yes.
And I was shocked that I never hear of anything going on over there. But here's the killer. I actually talked to Michelle, who's in charge of the entertainment over there, and she was telling me that they're booked up until August 2023. And I'm like, how are you booked up? And I haven't even heard anything about this place. Like, that's just crazy to me. But see, that's another thing that if people would, put more, I don't know if it is marketing or push, the entertainment, people also, not only jobs, they don't have to go to LA on the weekends or at night for events. They can still stay out here because that is a nice venue. She gave me a tour last night and I was like, wow.
Yeah.
It's such a nice venue. And you booked up until August? Like, why aren't you guys pushing these events?
Yeah, they have a lot of performing arts and an orchestra. So they have a string orchestra and classes.
Yeah.
So a lot of the students also get to perform there, and that's a big deal. That's kind of the next step to like the music center or the Disney Music Hall. I want to say that's what it's called. So they do a lot with the youth, I want to say.
Yeah.
And Christmas is big for them too, or during the holidays. But don't quote me, but I want to say that they're going to have a play starting in a few months there too. So, I mean, it's funny because just today I was looking at the Pantages and the Lion King is there. And I told my husband, wow, that's kind of neat. Like, we really should go down the hill. However, it's a good point that you are saying that, Mike, that there is a lot going on here, especially at the Palmdale Playhouse.
Why we can't bring those shows here?
Exactly. Maybe not as big,
Right.
but still, there's a lot of plays. Yeah. My wife and I, for years, we would go to plays.
Yeah.
And of course, we would always have to go down below. We've seen 1 or 2 plays up here in Lancaster, but if they can bring a lot more shows like that up here,
Yeah,
so
more for the families.
Yeah, and I know Michelle was talking about could they just partnered up with the Music Center of Los Angeles?
Yeah.
To make so they got an event coming up Saturday that we're going to tomorrow. We're going to, and I forgot the name of it. She's gonna kill me, but they're sponsoring events so that these events are free to the community. So the Music Center is sponsoring a lot of events that they just partner up with. Because I guess that's one of the main issues, that they have to charge so much to cover their costs.
Right.
So with this new sponsor, the Music Center, hopefully that can change some things. But if we can get more sponsors like that, big companies, from down below to come up here to kind of help with that cost. I think
well, like I say, if we can start bringing them big businesses here, yes, that's what we really, really need.
Yeah, because my husband even mentioned we should have something like Dave and Buster's. you know, something big or things that it's going to keep families together since Mulligan closed down, you know, what is there really to do?
Right.
You know, and have some of these big, like you said, big corporations or big companies that are really bringing and keeping jobs here so our families can also enjoy themselves. And I think that's key. I mean, I know on the Boulevard, they just opened, is it a new Marriott, a new hotel?
The Residence Inn.
Yeah, I noticed that down the way from you, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so are you excited about that?
Definitely. You can see all the traffic going up and down the boulevard.
Yes, sir.
You know. And then once again, all the guys in there are, you know, mortgage paying individuals.
Yes.
Yes. So our location is ideal because we want to catch those guys going to and from lunch, dinner, you know, breakfast, entertainment. And so eventually they're there on short term, but just until they get themselves together. And then, of course, at that point, they either rent or buy a home out here. We want to be the place that they go to when they're ready to buy homes because they pass us every day.
Yeah, that's
That's
true.
true.
That's true.
Yes.
And you mentioned that there's a business that's going to be opening soon underneath.
Oh, yes, yes. Okay, can I say the name?
Yeah.
Okay,
oh, please.
it's a plug. It's called the Beauty Bar.
Yeah.
And they were located on 10th Street West between Lancaster Boulevard and New Grove. And now they're actually moving everything over to the building now.
Yeah, that's exciting. Actually, when you mentioned that, it really brought more attention towards the Boulevard.
Yes.
Where they've invested so much money to vamp it up, but there's great small. I was corrected yesterday. It's not small businesses. They're flourish. It's not. Oh goodness! Now I'm
Forgot
stuck.
the word.
Yeah. And she corrected me on that. She goes, because I'm not a small business. You know, I'm a business that is, oh my God, is not productive. Goodness gracious.
She's not a small business?
No.
So what defines a small business?
You know, I guess
Like a
it's
business starting off? Or?
her example was you don't want to have small, you know, I guess a small vision.
Pigeonhole yourself.
Exactly.
Right. Okay, I get that.
Yeah. So is it thriving business? I want to say that's, oh my
Could
God.
be that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And I told her, you know what? I'm going to use that. I'm going to refrain from saying small businesses. Flourishing business. Yeah. Yeah. And it's actually a good point because we should be speaking positivity into our vision, into what we want to have come out of it. So, you know, kind of referring to ourselves as small, we're just really keeping ourselves there, right?
I never use that term for my business.
No.
Yeah. And what's the term you use?
Real estate company.
Okay. That's right.
Yeah, I mean, he's a real estate company.
Yes.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I guess we really should be utilizing, you know, more positive words, you know, words of affirmation and to have that same, you know, result in return. So I corrected myself and then I forgot the word.
Yes. Okay.
Diana.
Yeah.
But no, you're right though. But you're very good at that because you always get on me when I use certain words and you say you should change that word to a more positive word.
Yeah, and I'm not perfect. You know, I make mistakes. However, how am I supposed to grow if I continue to make them?
Yeah.
Right?
That's true.
At some point, you have to flip the switch. I can't always have it on off. Eventually, it has to go on.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's a mindset, and
Yeah,
you know,
it
it's
is.
all about manifesting what you want. So if you think I get it. It makes sense. If you think of yourself as small and you keep saying that, you're going to continue to be small.
Exactly.
But if you say like how you said, no, I'm a real estate company. I'm just as big as Century 21.
Exactly.
All these other ones. No, I am a real estate company.
Yeah.
Then you're
Thriving.
manifesting. Yeah.
That's what it was.
Thriving.
She's a thriving business.
Okay.
There you go. Yeah. So,
Yeah, it makes sense.
yeah.
We need to change Small Business Saturday to Thriving Business
Thriving.
Saturday.
Saturday.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's a good point.
true.
Yeah, she was one of the gals right before we walked out. She had the really beautiful like accessories and the beads.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, so they're also having an event, and shame on me for forgetting the flyer. But she was the one that put me up on game, and I told her, you know what, I appreciate that. You know, and like you were saying, right, Glenn, knowledge is power. And we should be handing it out to the next generation.
Yes.
You know, on how to pivot. and kind of correct the way we speak, the way we move, the way we do business, right? Because that's how we're going to produce and grow.
Right.
So I have a question for Mr. Roher.
Yes.
Are you, correct me if I'm wrong, are you, I love how you think.
Okay. Yeah.
Because you're like, what is he going to say?
Okay.
Are you the first Black-owned building out here? Did I say that correctly? Are you the first African-American to own a building out here in Antelope Valley?
Not sure.
On the boulevard.
Well, on the boulevard.
On
yes.
the boulevard. Okay.
On the boulevard.
Boulevard,
Yes.
But that's huge.
Yes. Yes.
That's huge. And I've heard that through the grapevine that you're trying to be the first to build a 10-story building.
Yes, I am. I'm working on that. Yes.
Was that a secret?
No. It's what always been one of my aspirations. Is to own a high rise. My thing, if I couldn't own a high rise, if I continue to stay here in Lancaster, I would like to be the first person to build or to be part of the first high rise being built here in the Antelope Valley.
Now let me ask you this question, because I think I asked Angelo this the other day. How come there aren't no high rises out here? Is it because of the airspace?
Yes. Okay. For years, you couldn't build anything higher than 5 stories. Okay.
And that's why the hotels are 4 stories.
Right. Except now, Palmdale's been the first one to sit back in our variance because their embassy suites is higher than 5 stories.
It is.
That was the first one.
Like 6 or 7, right?
Yes, I believe it's 7.
7, yeah.
Yes. So with that said, and things are changing. I believe that the first high-rise building, and high-rise is considered 7 stories or taller. Yes, it's going to be on Avenue M. Now, whether it's going to be on the north side, Lancaster, or the south side, Palmdale, I think that's where the first high-rise is going to be.
But and I'm assuming just because of the airfield, it would have to be on the west side.
No, it could be on the east side, but there's nothing to attract it to the east side. Mm-hmm. Access to the freeway. Mm-hmm. So that's why again they put in the courthouse. I don't know. I shouldn't speak on that, but the access to the freeway. That is probably the best location.
It's prime real estate,
right?
Yeah,
it's the best location right there. Matter of fact, right there on 10th Street West and Avenue M.
It's funny, when we went to the town hall, that's what they were talking about. You remember that gentleman was kind of a little bit upset that, again, I don't think it's a secret. You remember that?
Oh, this guy was what they were livid that they...
Yeah.
And it's crazy because they sold some building to somebody for real cheap, and he was like, "Why would you guys sell it for that cheap?" And the city was like, "Well, we didn't." It was a big mess. I can't even remember, but this guy was pissed
the property
because it was prime real estate, and he was like, "You guys could have sold that for millions, and you guys sold it for pennies." He said, "Why would you do that?" But someone else actually owns the property, and the city is just doing the loan, I believe. And so that's where he was getting it confused, that he thought the city sold it. And they said, it was like, no, we actually don't even own that property.
Right.
Yeah. So it's like we were just doing the loan or something. They had a part in it, but it was sold for so cheap. He was like, why did you guys do that? Like the community needed that money, and you guys sold it for pennies.
Yeah,
it was off Avenue M. It was like that prime real estate right there.
Now that you mention it.
Yeah. There's so much misunderstanding that the public have as far as the city selling something, even to the point where a lot of the public get upset because, again, why don't we have this? Why don't we have? There's certain things in the Antelope Valley. I won't say Lancaster, Palmdale, because I call it a whole. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of things that should be here in the Antelope Valley that's not here. The public, a lot of times they get upset with either the city of Lancaster or Palmdale thinking they're the ones that are responsible for bringing these things up.
Yeah.
But they're not.
Right.
As a matter of fact, both cities, well, since the mayor and everybody changed in Palmdale,
Yeah.
so I can only speak of Lancaster now, and this, they're asking us to help bring businesses up here in manufacturing. We would in our meetings, if you get in touch with someone from 3M, someone from Oracle, someone from someone like that, if you can just get them to shake their head and interest, we'll go ahead and meet with them and roll out the red carpet because they need those things as well.
Oh, wow, that's
Right.
interesting.
But a lot of the things that we need up here, the city don't build those things. Investors do. Individuals do. We just have to, I won't sell them a dream, or give them the dream for them to come out here and build these things.
That's
So
interesting.
yeah, we have all the land,
Right.
but we just have to convince those companies
Right.
to come out here. They're the ones that are building.
Right.
The city doesn't build.
Right. So, like, and I know that when we talked about that before, like you said earlier, it's the demographics, right? And we need these
Exactly.
companies out here, but at the same time, we got to understand their point of view as well because it's a business for them.
Of
So,
course.
what is the starting point? You know, yeah, I get like if we go meet somebody from 3M and we sell them a dream, but is there something we have to put in place before that happens?
No, it's all the things that are in place right now. We just have to sit back and show them the advantage of moving up here. A lot of your, let's say your Midwest companies up the Northeast, they're dealing with rain so many times a year, snow, the bad weather. We have here in Lancaster, Antelope Valley, 350 days out the year we have sun.
Right.
So if we can present those to a lot of the companies that are looking to relocate, come here, you have it. Well, we want to be near a large city, 25, 30 minutes from the metro LA area. So we're not that far. And as far as if you need to build something, we have acres and acres. We have millions of acres to build.
Right. It's so true.
And years ago, I want to say 10 years ago, I was working with YouTube Kids. And because a lot of people still don't understand, like Hollywood isn't filmed in Hollywood no more.
Right.
No.
YouTube, Google, all those big
Elsewhere.
studios are actually in El Segundo, like on the south side of LAX.
Yes.
And when and it only took one of those companies to move over there, and then everybody else followed suit. And when they did that, I was like, why would they go over there? Like, why they didn't come like out here would have much space. It would have been a lot cheaper, but they went over there, and I didn't understand that.
No, again, we have to get in front of them.
Right.
Now, I'll share this here, and hopefully they're not listening. But no, there is two of my clients. They purchased a couple of lots in Rosamond. In Rosamond, they bought two parcels because they're both in the TV industry, the movie industry. And after they purchased those two lots, they were an acre each. They realized that they needed more, so they start buying the lots on either side of those. So they now own 3 lots. But again, they work for the movie industry. So me and a couple of guys were talking. We think that they're probably going to be building something there that will support the movie industry. And I'm thinking that depending on his position, a lot of companies might start seeing the value. And once they start seeing the value, again, you can buy 3 acres over here for, next to nothing. Whereas if you try to buy, if you can find 3 acres in the Burbank area, it would be ridiculous.
Right.
Yes.
And wouldn't that fall under Kern County? So wouldn't
Well, that's
also
Kern,
like
that's Kern County, yeah.
right? So wouldn't taxes and things be a
Yes.
little bit more also reasonable because they're
Yes.
out of LA County?
Yes.
So that's key.
Yes. And the good thing about it is, as far as commuting to and from the Burbank and the LA area, you have Foxfield.
Yeah.
And because
Private airport, yeah.
because one of my clients, every time he wanted to come up to see property, he would fly out of Long Beach to the Foxfield.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I actually had no clue it existed. My daughter, she did her first O flight. She's part of the Civil Air Patrol.
Yes.
And I thought it was the neatest thing, like to have something so accessible, so
Yes.
close to us.
Yes.
Yeah.
And, and that's key. And that's why a lot of stuff is built, studios in Burbank is because of Burbank Airport.
Yes.
Everybody flies in and out of there. Mm-hmm. So that the airport, that Fox Field is really key.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there isn't a lot, like you said, if you can find 3 acres. I think Warner Brothers, they just built, I want to say 4 or 5 studios on the southwest side of the lot that was empty for years, like going up Barham.
Right.
Like right there on Barham. They just built like 4 or 5 new studios over there. Like sound stages, I should say, not studios, but sound stages. And when they did that, I was like, that's interesting that they just did that. But, the sound stages are more equipped and more high tech now.
Right.
They can't use their old ones. So they found that lot and they made it happen over there. But I think that was the only lot left over there in that area. So if somebody else wanted to do it,
You can't.
yeah, they would have to buy 3 acres, tear it down, demo it, and start from scratch.
Or come up to the Antelope Valley.
I was just going to
Exactly,
say
yeah.
that. And come see Glenn.
Yes. Yes. But those are the things that we're trying to bring up here.
That's interesting.
Yes.
That really, really is interesting because sometimes people don't really think outside the box. And then this point is LA is the box, Burbank is the box. So let's think out of it.
Yeah.
And you're right. We're not that far, from Los Angeles.
I can see it happening just because, and I'm pretty sure you've been out here longer than I have. You've seen the growth of the Antelope Valley.
Yes.
And it's getting there.
Yes.
Like you said earlier, we're there, almost there. Like we're very close.
Right.
I think, I can't predict the years, but we're so close that as soon as it hits, it's just going to boom.
We're going to be Silicon Valley on steroids.
Exactly. Because there's so much land out here.
Yes.
It's so true. I mean, we live on the far east side, and it's just land. And I drive down like K, and I want to say we turn on 90th Street. There's so much land going into like Lake LA. Mm-hmm. And I always tell my kids, like, there really is nothing here, and there's so much potential.
Yes.
So much potential. So hopefully we can get a little bit more development. I mean, there are some things that are over there that, I'm not too proud of.
Yeah.
But, I think we had that conversation with Mike that it really does bring in more money.
Yes.
These are the things that are being more taxable, but I'm seeing that kind of developing a little bit more on the east side, and I wish other things would come. But
It will.
Yeah.
I think it will because, and you correct me if I'm wrong, because the Valley in LA, it's just so expensive right now.
Yes.
And I think the more residential properties that are bought out here, the bigger and the better we will be off, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, everything that all the offices, all the houses that my office put up for sale within the last year, every single one of them has been bought by someone from outside the area.
Right.
Only one house. I'm sorry. Only one house was bought by a local person here. It was one of my clients, a buyer. But as far as all the houses that our office had for sale, it's always been someone outside the area to buy it.
Yeah.
Now, as far as like the market, real estate market, what's your opinion on it? Is it going to? I know it's not going to be a crash. A lot of people say it's going to be a crash, but I believe it's going to be a correction.
No, it's correction, and we're feeling it now. The interest rate just bumped up again on Monday but that pretty much had no effect on the real estate. So I think we're stabilizing. Now, as far as homes being sold, it's slow now because we're in the slow season.
Okay.
Here in Antelope Valley, my joke is Halloween scares people out of buying and selling homes. So after Halloween, the latter part of October, the market almost just pretty much dies. And it's that way until February or March. It starts picking up again. So May, June is at its fever pitch. July, August, it's going crazy. And then it starts slowing down again at a part of August, September, October, and then it's dormant between November and March.
So, but would you say that because obviously the public looks at the market and they hear all the stories, they hear all the information on the internet, and
Yes.
so much wrong information out there. But is there really a good and bad time to buy, or would you tell people just buy when you can?
Buy what you can afford.
Right.
My take in California is time heals all wounds. We're always appreciating here in California. Yes, California has its cycles. Prices go down, but then when they start going back up again, they always surpass the last peak. So you might hear someone say, I paid too much for my house. Well, if you're trying to sell it or do something within the next 3, 4, 5 months, it's possible.
Right.
But if you're buying a home to raise a family, you really can't lose here in California. Even if you overpaid for a house. If you overpaid for a house, most likely you got the wrong real estate agent. Okay.
Right.
But if you feel you overpaid for a house, a lot of times if you wait 2, 3 months, 4 months, your house worth more than what you paid for it.
That's true.
That's true. And I think you just made a great point. Unless you're an investor and you're trying to flip, then you want to kind of go with the cycles or whatever.
Right.
But yeah, if you're trying to raise a family, you're trying to be in a home, you obviously going to be in that home for 5, 10 plus years.
Yes.
So it shouldn't affect you. Like in 10 years from now, everybody's house is going to have some type of equity in it.
Of course. And again, you have your cycles. The prices go down 10, 15%, and that might last for a year or two. The last debacle that we had back in 2009, 2010, that was an anomaly. I mean, the whole world felt that.
Oh yeah.
Right.
So, but for those who say that the same thing that happened in 2009, 2010 has happened again, no, because there's too many things in place to keep that from happening.
Right.
I hope so.
Yeah, no, and that's the conversation. I think I had this conversation with Angelo like a few weeks ago or even a month ago. Because a lot of people, like I said earlier, they think that we're going to have a crash like we did in 2008. And it's like, no, because we have so many different rules that are in place now to prevent that.
Right.
And so back then, the rules and regulations, we didn't have in place. And that's why that happened. But now there's so many rules and regulations to where it's impossible for that to happen.
Pretty hard. Now, but I'll say this here, shameless plug. If you feel that the market's going to crash and you need to sell your house, call World Realty.
Hey.
We'll sell your house for you.
I know that's right. I know that's right.
So, right, yeah.
Shoot.
Yeah, no problem with that. We can sell it.
Yeah. If you think it's going to crash, if you really feel strong about that, no problem. We'll take care of you.
Hey, that's right. Yeah.
But no, the market, it's not going to crash. It's just going to correct itself. And we'll see that March, April, you'll start seeing activity building up again.
Yeah.
Now, are you surprised that the price hike, how far it went up?
No.
Yeah, because that's crazy. I mean, the house that sold across the street from us, it was almost $100,000 more than what we paid, and not even a year.
But no, but
I've been through that a couple times.
That's interesting.
Yes.
I think, I mean, I asked that question because I'm just a little shocked because 5 years ago, I owned a house in Santa Clarita. I bought that house for $220, 4-bedroom house
Right.
for $220. It's worth 8 something right now.
Oh yeah.
Right.
That's just crazy to me. I wish I would have kept it.
Well, again, we're recovering from the debacle that happened in 2010, 2009, 2010. I mean, the market was just. I mean, the market collapsed.
Yeah.
Pretty much. You had so many foreclosures, and the market just went down. I mean, a lot of those houses were being sold for $90,000-$100,000.
Yeah.
In Lancaster, those same houses are now selling for $600,000.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
and I remember since we do a lot of multifamily, there's a couple areas here in Lancaster where they were fourplex communities, quads, and when the market crashed, I remember selling quite a few of them between $250 and $300.
Oh wow.
But they had gone up to $650
Yeah.
right before the market crashed. Well, now these same fourplexes were selling for $250,000, $269,000, $950 today.
That's insane.
Wow.
$950 right. I mean, right now.
Present.
Yeah.
See where we came from? Again, the last peak was around $650, pretty much $7.
Wow.
Now we're at $950 and climbing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I know.
I mean, do you think the interest rates are going to continue to climb, or you think that's going to?
No. Well, the interest rate, they might bump it 1 or 2 more times, but I don't think it's going to have too much of an effect on real estate. See, one good thing about real estate right now with loans, being that it's more of a buyer's market, if you will, sellers are giving a lot of concessions. And one of the concessions that a lot of the buyers are asking for is, help on our interest rate. So these buyers are now giving credit to buy the loan down or to buy the interest rate down. So you can still, get not too good, but still you can get a 5% interest rate, and depending on how much the seller wants to contribute, you might even get 4 3/4. So you can sellers are buying rates down for the buyers. So and when that started happening, you start seeing activity again.
Right.
So
that's
just for the public that doesn't know too much about real estate, when you say the sellers buy the interest rate down, like what does that exactly mean?
Okay, your lender, because of your credit income, your interest rate could be 6 1/4.
Right.
Well, the seller can pay points to bring your rate down. So in essence, it depending on, let's say, for example, you had a 6.5% interest rate. The buyer could pay 2 points, which would be, again, if you're looking at a $500,000 house, 2 points would be $10,000. That $10,000 could possibly bring your rate from 6.5 down to 5 3/4.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yes.
Oh, well, that's interesting.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm learning so much.
Yes. So in essence, it allows the buyer to sometimes buy more house, or in some cases, it just helps them to qualify.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And saying this is why you need an educated real estate agent over like a her commercial, because a lot of agents don't know stuff like that
Right.
and don't explain things like that to people.
Yeah.
Right. Knowledge is power, like you were
Yes.
saying.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's good that you don't just see people. Of course, it's a business, but at the end of the day, it's
To me getting someone in their property,
Right.
be it a home or a building. Now,
Yeah.
we do both residential and commercial. Of course my specialty is multifamily and commercial, but I do have agents in the office that do single family.
My dream, I keep saying, and I'm not going to get tired of saying it until I see it. I want to see another skating rink in the Antelope Valley.
Yes.
My goodness.
Yes. I haven't got a phone call probably in about 7 to 8 months. But I'm always getting phone calls from individuals that are looking for areas to build the skating ring. The last skating ring, they just, I don't know what they did with that building. It was a weightlifting.
Oh, over the one on
23rd Street.
Yeah, I'm talking about the one over by across from Jayhawk Stadium, where all the RVs sell.
Yeah, right. 23rd Street.
Is that 23rd Street?
Yes,
Yeah.
That was the last one that we had.
That's where I used to party and have a good old time.
Yes, I remember those days.
You know.
But we do need one.
Yeah, we do.
But we have to find the right investors that's willing to take that risk out here with us.
Yeah.
That's it. That's what it boils down to. Because with the zoning for something like that, you can build at any place.
Right.
Nobody is going to not allow that to happen.
Right.
You just have to find, again, an investor or investors that's willing to take that risk. And that's what everything that we need out here is just finding someone that's willing to take that risk or to be the first one.
Right. Well, if you're out there and you're an investor, please hit up Glenn.
Yes, please. There's a whole lot of things that we can use up here.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like I continue to say, I think that's why our valley struggles so much with mental health, because there's nothing distracting you.
Right.
There really isn't. Even with Schaefer last week, he mentioned that there was a 14-year-old, that was, stopped with the gun. And I said, well, what else is there for these children to diverse? You know, it's hanging out with the older sibling, with the older homies, or someone that's, up to no good. But even the parks unfortunately are kind of getting a little bit bombarded with the wrong crowd.
Well,
so
again, you have to, the sad part about it is because we're their parents.
Right.
Yeah. They're on the 14 freeway.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
It's so true.
See, that's
a
what
big
we
part.
end up with. Yeah. They come out here because it's affordable.
Yeah.
But if they have kids, it's kind of like, what do they do for those 3 or 4 or 5 hours that?
Yeah.
And then when mom gets home, dad gets home, after that 3-4 hour drive, it's on the freeway, you want to pull up to any of your drive-through restaurants, grab yourself something, eat, go to bed, and get ready to do that trip again tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. You don't want to do nothing else.
Yeah, so all you have is the weekend, and that's why we don't have the kind of quality of life like your Burbanks or your cities down below.
Yeah, it's so true. It's sad, So I continue to speak it into existence.
Yeah.
That, like you say, there is a lot of potential. The AV is beautiful, and hopefully these investors can see that. And of course, hit you up, right?
Yeah, and if we can bring a lot of those jobs up here, because that's what it is.
Yeah.
If we can take most of those jobs and just bring them up here in the valley, then the parents don't have to spend all their time on the freeways. They can spend time at home with the kids.
It's true. Yeah. I mean, it was really nice to see Amazon, kind of open something up here.
Yes.
That was big. That definitely brought a lot. And of course, Northrop and Lockheed. But I think after a while, there's only so much. So having other big companies would be key.
There's a couple big ones coming up real soon.
Hey.
Yes.
We got the inside scoop.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
there's a couple.
Okay.
Yeah, that's gonna be again. Yeah, there's a couple of projects that's happening right now.
Yeah, I can't
in the near
wait.
future. That's going to really change.
I can't wait.
Yes, we're looking forward to them as well.
Yeah, because I'm a homeowner, so
Yes, me too.
you know what I mean.
Me
Shoot.
too. Because those things that again
Yes.
that take our value up. Just keep on taking the
Yes.
value up.
Yeah, it's so true. I know. I mean, I'm over on the east side, and they're also building something, but I think it's like almost like a junkyard kind of deal. I want to say it's like on 40th Street East between M and K. So it's a huge property that they got. Yeah, like right
okay.
across the street from Northrop.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, that's a lot of property.
Yes.
But so they have been nonstop building. So I'm curious to see what's going to come from that.
Oh, me too. I'll find out for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
I'll
know,
find
because
out.
in reality, we do need more. And even my son always tells me, Mom, wouldn't it be dope if we had like restaurants around here or something? And I said, yeah, but I guess we're so far out. But no, we really should have more because we're a little bit far out. I think Dutch Brothers is the newest thing that
Whatever I.
no, the one on J and 20th Street East. So there's a new Pollo Loco, a new Carl's Jr. and the Dutch Brothers where the Aldi is.
Right.
So, Stater Brothers Walmart.
It used to be Gemco.
Oh, okay.
It was Gemco way back when.
Yeah. I mean, we're a little bit newer to the Lancaster area. I grew up in Palmdale, and where we were, everything was accessible, so I really didn't feel it. But living out in Lancaster, you kind of, it's like, man, I wish there was more. Although the new Chick-fil-A and a few things happening on K and 15.
15, right? That's the old Gemco.
Yeah, or there's a Toys R Us that was there too.
Right. But no, that building that was Gemco.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay.
Back in 76, 77.
Yeah.
And then when Gemco closed, then that's when they did Toys R Us and the hometown buffet and all that.
That's
But
right. There was a hometown buffet.
But it was originally the Gemco.
Huh. Well, I'm excited to see a lot more of that.
Well, I know I thought they was putting Cane's right there.
Where?
Raising Cane's.
Yeah,
right
15th.
there where the
15th and
I heard about that.
They put Raising Cane's right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Honestly, I think we need it, but I wish they would develop some more neater things on the east side.
But again, that's just fulfilling what the parents and everybody need. Like how you said, they still making that drive out there, and when they come here, guess what? Now they got all these choices to do that. But I think that needs to stop, because we need to keep them out here, not give them the tools that they need for when they do travel and come out here. If that makes sense.
No, you're right. Again, that's why we're trying to bring all the companies up here,
right.
So that way, you're 15, 20 minutes from work.
Yeah,
you can spend more time. You can spend more time at home. Now you can take your kids and they can go to softball practice. They can go to dance class. Because a lot of times, who's going to take those kids there?
Yeah.
Because mom and dad is on the freeway.
Yeah.
Because I remember just driving to and from. I think the last 2 or 3 times I ended up leaving LA at 4:00 in the evening or 4:00 in the afternoon. And depending on how bad it is, it can take you 2.5 hours.
Oh yeah, I mean, I still travel out there almost every day, and my thing is I have to leave the valley by 1:00.
There it is.
If I leave anytime after, I'm just staying out there because I don't want to be on the freeway for like 2.5 hours. Because you never know, and it just takes the smallest thing for someone to have a flat tire and pull over, and everybody just look at it. And that'll back everything up. No, seriously.
The looky-loo.
Yeah, I mean that's one little small thing backs everything up.
Yeah. Although traffic wasn't always that bad. It wasn't too shabby. I think maybe in the 2000s, I think that's when it really started getting a little ugly, but it wasn't always that ugly. I mean, I can't really recall it being that bad. I mean, my dad was a painter, and he used to commute down to like Malibu, the beach areas.
Right.
And I
But
mean,
didn't Schaefer just give us a number of how many people actually travel that freeway?
now
He said it was
yeah.
like 85,000 people.
Yeah, now. Yeah.
Right.
But because of the development as well.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
I think because I started commuting back in '85 when I worked for Northrop down in LA, down in Pico Rivera, and it was traffic, but again nothing like you have here.
Oh, right.
Nothing is night and day.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. Although I think everywhere has gotten a little bit uglier. You know,
Well,
the population's pretty intense.
Anywhere in LA, yeah.
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 LA County, period. Is
Yes.
traffic
Yeah.
is horrible.
Yeah, but that 14 is getting brutal.
Yeah. Well, in a 5.
Yeah, yeah. So if anyone's out there and you know of a big company or someone that's, you know, looking to invest, by all means, please think of us. Think of the AV. It's
Yes.
beautiful.
Yes.
You know, we have amazing people like Glenn that's more than willing to help and put you on, you know, put you up on game.
We need
And not
it.
only that, but knowledgeable.
Yes.
You know, very, very knowledgeable.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So because I know we almost out of time, and I know Diana wants to get to her goal.
Why you gotta put my business out?
Chicken and ribs.
Okay.
And Glenn looking to eat his ribs.
Well, you have the food out, Mike.
I know.
Now you make, like you can look at it, but you can't eat it. But I have another question. What do one? Because you know we like to talk about well-being and mental health right here. What is the one adversity that you? Biggest adversity, I should say, that you had to overcome, you know, being out here in the AV and just being a successful businessman that you are?
Well, that's a good one.
That's a good one. The adversities.
I know you probably have a few, but what was one of your biggest ones?
I'm thinking.
Yeah, because I want to say someone mentioned to us that, you know, in the early 80s or 70s, it was challenging to buy property, you know.
Well, my my in-laws, when they moved out here in '76, they moved. As a matter of fact, they moved out here the same year that I was transferred out here for the Air Force. And the problem they had was when they first came out here, the real estate agents that they met took them out to Little Rock,
And Lake Elaine.
or I'm sorry, Sun Village. and my father-in-law, he worked for Rockwell, and he said that he didn't want to go that far out. He wanted to be in Lancaster, and they had to change real estate agents until they found one that would help them. And they actually bought a house there on 12th Street West. And like H15, H14.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, street called Leatherwood.
That's
Now-
still a little bit out.
Now, 4 years ago when I bought my house out here, I had that same exact experience. Because I came out here thinking I was gonna, like, I didn't really want to use an agent. I was gonna do it by myself, like with just my lender. And when me and my wife came out here at the time, we went to this one house, and an agent just happened to be there and was telling what he wanted. He was like, "Oh, I can show you around." So we were just like, "Okay, whatever," you know. So we let him show us 4 houses. After the 4th house, Glenn, let me tell you, I had to pull him to the side and said, "I'm sorry, but maybe I gave you the wrong impression. I'm not sure what impression I gave you, but I do not want to be out here in the East Side where he took me." And he was like, "Oh, I know what you want." Then he brought me over to the West Side, over by Quartz Hill area, and he showed me a couple of houses, and I was like, "Yeah, this is what I want." But the houses he showed me was so tore down, and I'm not saying the East Side is bad, because there's a lot of pockets
Right.
on the East Side that's really great. But
I live on the
where
East
he,
Side.
but where he, yeah, no, right, and your house is beautiful, and your
Yeah,
neighborhood
it's
is
good
beautiful.
area.
But where he took me, I really pulled him to the side and was like, I apologize. I was like, maybe I gave you the wrong impression of me, because this is not where I want to be. It was so horrible, and that was 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had similar problems, but you know we just plugged on.
But as far as like business though, like you haven't any big adversities out here that you had to overcome to get to where you are?
No, I got a lot of help.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I have to say, back in '97, I bought my first apartment complex, and the gentleman actually did owner finance.
Okay.
And older gentleman, he had a couple of sober living homes. So anyway, I bought that property. Then I purchased a second property, another apartment complex. So, which owner carry as well. So the first seller that did owner financing, because of say the way he loved helping people, like I said, because he had all the sober living homes. He said that he was happy with the way that I turned that one apartment complex. It was a 13 unit that I bought, my first one, and it was drug infested, gang infested. It was probably one of the worst apartment complexes in Palmdale.
Oh, wow.
And when I purchased it, that's why he pretty much on the financing, just get this
Off my
somebody take care of this, because he was an old gentleman and he couldn't take care of it. And I kicked everyone out. Wow. And I kicked some out and I asked some to leave.
Right. Okay.
So,
Okay.
so wait a minute, because I want to pause you right there. So you actually had a vision for that property then?
Yes. And after I got rid of all of the bad blood, basically all my tenants were women and children. And then my second building that I bought, basically women and children. The gentleman that helped me, the gentleman that carried the loan for my first property, came to me and said, I like what you're doing. He said, if you find any of the buildings out here that you want, he says, I'll buy them from you. I'll buy them for you and carry the loan.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So afterwards, I found a 25-unit apartment complex, and he bought it and financed it for me.
Wow.
And so he bought it, sold it to me, and financed it.
That's beautiful.
So that's how I started. They helped me, and not just him, but the guy that did the second property as well. And then about 6 months later, another property came up, 32-unit apartment complex. Again, owner finance. So these guys, again, maybe it was timing, that it was hard for me to really hit obstacles because these guys were,
yeah.
just kind of laid it out for me.
Right.
Okay.
No, and that's great, and I guess that's why you are the man you are today, and I see you helping a lot of people, and you, like I said earlier, you're paying it for it.
Yeah, I try not. That's why I say hard for me to say obstacles. Yeah, I did have some things in my way, but I just found a way to walk around it, get a ladder, step over it, and I'm not the kind of guy that busts through it, so I always got around it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you had a great mindset,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, I like
you
that.
knew how to get around them.
Yeah,
Diana called them. I call them obstacles. Diana called them challenges.
yeah. Because when you try to bust through something,
Oh yeah.
you hurt yourself.
Okay. Yeah.
So
Right.
So-
And sometimes challenges will bring out the best in you, right?
Yeah.
of course, well, a lot of us, we get to think a little bit more.
Right. With growth. Yeah.
You think a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
How to
You
get
see?
how to get around that obstacle.
Right.
But yes, I've had them as well.
Yeah. Oh, that's a very inspiring story. I like that. Not only that, but people helping each other.
Yes.
It seems like it's so unheard of now.
Yeah, and again, like Mike said, that's why I share as much as I can, because again, they've educated me when it came to multifamily. When it came to financing, they helped me a lot,
Yeah.
because with what they were doing, you were thinking outside the box. You wasn't doing your regular normal, go to the bank, get a 20-25% loan. I mean, these guys were creative.
Right.
And then I learned from them. So when I do a lot of my transactions right now when we run into a problem, it's easy for me to sit back and reach into my drawer of experience and pull this one out and say, hey, this is how we get around this. As a matter of fact, it's funny because I got a phone call yesterday from one of the guys that we started real estate together. And he called me. He said, hey, I need to ask you something. He says, I have a client that's purchasing a home, and she's having difficulty in trying to close, and she's going to lose a deposit. And he went on and on and on. And he said, what do we do in a case like that? I mean, how do we try to get her deposit back? And I asked him, I says, well, does she want the house? And he said, yes, she definitely wants the house. And it was maybe about another 3 or 4 days or a week before her settlement came in. But, when you tell the seller that, because she was the buyer, the seller, like, you're selling us a dream, we don't want to wait anymore. So they were going to keep her deposit and move on. So I suggested, well, how about if you know your money coming, your funds are coming in within the next 2-3 weeks, and you really want the house, don't want to lose your deposit, don't want to start all over again, offer the seller something. Because they just want to be assured that you're going to perform. And if you don't, how can we be compensated? Because we took the house off the market for 30, 60 days for you. Right. We still have the mortgage to pay. We have what you do is offer them a $10,000, $15,000 fee, extension fee. Now, that $15,000 goes towards the purchase price, of course.
Right.
But you give them $15,000 up front right now. And if for some reason I don't perform in 30 days, you have yourself, instead of the $5,000 deposit you were going to take right now, I'm giving you 10 more.
Right.
So now you have $15,000. If I don't close in 30 days. Right. Would you take a deal like that?
Absolutely. Okay.
And I'm the kind of person, as a seller, if you don't close in 30 days, give me 15 grand more. I'll give you 30 more days.
I'm praying you don't close.
Exactly. But she's that assured of herself that is going to happen. And you just need something to make the seller happy, really comfortable.
Right, of course.
And when I suggested that, that works, because I've done so many transactions like that, especially with commercial, because there's always hiccups at the end, and the seller, I need my money, or I want to make sure we close because I got 3 or 4 other people waiting to perform, and the buyer can perform, but I need a little more time. Right. So these are the things that make that seller a little more comfortable. So like you said, I pray that he don't make it.
Yeah. Matter of fact, we can do this deal for the next 6 months. That's $10,000 a month I'm making. Right.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Yes.
That's smart. That's key.
Smart business aspect. Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like I've learned so much. I'm gonna go out and be in real estate now.
What are we closing with? Where's your?
Oh yes. So I always close out with a quote, and today it comes from, it's Greta Gerwig, and it says, "I am not goal oriented so much as I am constantly aware of what I'm passionate about, and I'm constantly updating that list." Again, I'm not goal-oriented so much as I'm constantly aware of what I'm passionate about, and I'm constantly updating that list. So maybe bringing more awareness to fulfill those goals, right?
Yes.
Instead of being, I guess, following your passion.
Yeah.
That's key. Kind of like what we were talking about today, huh?
Yeah, yes.
It's so odd because every time, coincidentally, these cards always kind of compliment our conversation.
They do. She's a magician with the cards.
No, and I literally just put it at the bottom, keep it on top, unless you're shifting them around, Mike, when I'm not here.
No, I don't even touch them. That was your gold crusher.
Here's another quote that you can use.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Give us one, man.
Yes.
It's a quick, simple one that I would put on my laptop, put on my computer all the time, so I take a look at it. All money ain't good money. Just keep that in mind. All money ain't good money.
That's very, actually.
And we've all heard that before.
Yes.
Yeah, it's true, though.
Yes.
That is true.
It is really, really true. If it's easy to make,
And
probably not good.
And that's what I always say to the agents when they come in the office. Just keep that in mind. All money ain't good money.
No, and I actually live by that because about, I want to say 6 months ago, I actually turned down a project that would have paid me $50,000, and I turned it down.
Right.
Because I knew at the time I had a partner and he wasn't going to perform, and I knew I couldn't do it by myself. I could have easily took that $50,000 and just had $50,000 in my pocket, but I would have lost the respect of my client. I would have lost a lot of business going forward because it would have showed they would have spoke ill of me.
Right.
And so I had to take them. And plus, I don't like taking people money like that. Like if I know, like, okay, I can't do the job, I'm not going to, because I needed the $50,000. Like I wasn't going to take it. So that goes by what you're saying. It's like it's not good money. And I wouldn't do. That's like doing someone dirty.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna just take your money. Like I don't like that. I'm not that type of person. So I actually turned down the deal.
There it is.
Karma is powerful.
Exactly.
Well, I say it's a bitch.
She keeps it real, y'all.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Of course I do.
And that's why I try to just do good to people, so good is done unto me.
And it comes to you 100-fold.
Yes, sir.
100-fold, actually.
Yeah.
Well, man, Glenn, I thank you, sir. I truly appreciate you stopping by, taking time in your busy schedule.
Thank you. Not as bad as I thought. I thought I was
No.
gonna be nervous because I'm.
You love to talk.
Yeah, but not with everybody listening.
Come on, this is us.
Yes.
What you have something to share?
Oh, you know what? I actually met these gentlemen yesterday. I saw them at Aldi. They were kind of like getting food. I want to say they distribute it. And he goes, I also want to share my flyer with you. It's a gala ball. It's June 3rd at 4 p.m. And it's through the Living Water Worship Center. And they also have a guest comedian. It's Lamont Bauman, I want to say. However, if anyone is interested in this, the phone number to call is area code 661-313-6240. Again, that is the gala ball over at Living Water Worship Center. And he was so kind enough to just kind of give me his flyers, and I was telling him about the event for Ashley.
Okay.
So it was hilarious. I kind of saw them at a distance, and I told my daughter, I have to pull over and give them flyers. So,
Oh, nice.
yeah. So, yeah, thanks for reminding me of that.
Yeah, well, that's how you sitting here reading it. Like
I
this big
know.
old
I was
flyer.
like, oh, yeah, that's. And actually, everyone, if you are available this Saturday, come out to the
Yes.
Palmdale Playhouse.
Yes.
We have got Rhythm from the Music Center in Los Angeles, and we also have I want to say a poet, and
Yep.
again, Miss Ashley Khan's art is going to be on display
Yeah.
all month long. So the best thing about it is it's free.
Yes.
Who doesn't like free?
No, and you know what? I definitely want to shout out Ashley Khan again because she's a sister, and
Yeah.
they did that in to celebrate Black History Month and put her art at the Playhouse, and she got her art is incredible. It's really nice. I was very inspired last night by her art, and I just love the fact that she's being an inspiration to this community.
Yeah, actually, I have another another shout out, or actually
We getting
announcement.
paid for these sponsors?
You know why? You know
I was
why
playing,
I do
I
this?
was playing.
This
Go
is
ahead.
because they are free and they are our community and they are art. So
absolutely, absolutely.
It's
You know I was
called,
just joking, right?
I know you are. It's called Future Past, and it's a Black History Month exhibition exploring periods of time and how they influence our present and future. So opening reception is February the 4th from 4 to 8. The viewing is February the 4th through the 28th in 10th Street West, and that address is 198 10th Street East in Palmdale. So let's go ahead and get out and celebrate Black History Month, because there's so many amazing
Yes.
people in our community. And let's uplift each other and come together, right?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And thanks again to Love and Crockett's Homestyle Barbecue for
Hey.
sponsoring this show.
Yay, can't
We're
wait.
going to go eat and grub. Like, it's sitting in front of me, right? It's calling my
Okay.
name.
Yes.
Thank you, Glenn, again from Rohar
Yes.
Commercial Real Estate Services. If you guys
Yay.
need anything multifamily, commercial, go to an agent that has the experience, the knowledge, and the wisdom, and just the love that he will give you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, and especially if you're looking for a skating ring.
Yes. How about that?
Come see Glenn. Let me
Go
tell you,
see
he's going to
Glenn.
put you up on game and make my dreams come true, right?
I'm gonna work on it for you.
All right, we out of here, you
All
guys.
right, guys. Be
Okay.
well.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.